The best years aren't college, high school or middle school, but elementary school and kindergarten. There's no social hierarchy and there's no worrying about performance, grades or money. The second best years are actually your parent years. You can relive every stage of your childhood. The best years are whatever you make them and should, ideally, be scattered throughout your entire life. Restricting yourself to one chapter of your life is naive. Bro peaked in kindergarten LMAO. You didn't have a social hierarchy in elementary school? Kids were far meaner in the lower grades than they ever were in middle school or high school. Not to mention the complete lack of control over your own life or choices. If you had physically and emotionally abusive parents like I did, you were pretty much stuck at their mercy. No social hierarchy? Bro, I was bullied in elementary school because I was the only Asian kid. I remember elementary fondly. Ah, the nostalgia. X200B. X200B. Playing my new Super Mario Bros. For the DSi on the bus. That's all I remember. Welp, at least it's a good memory. My hyperbolic generalization is better than your hyperbolic generalization. In all seriousness, it's just totally subjective. Some PPL have shitty childhoods and their lives get better once they're able to have a bit of freedom and begin shaping themselves as people. Some don't get to that point until later in life. Some don't start thriving till they're like 50, so this is the kinda thing you think makes sense till you think about it for more than like 2 minutes. Second grade was the first time I experienced racism and was the first time I realized as a mixed kid that white kids saw me as black and not as good as them. Funny enough, black kids called me white. My best years started around 30. I hope it only gets better. The best years for me were primary school, not because what you mentioned, but because Black Ops 2 the GOAT. Man, people really do be liking the times in their life they have the least autonomy. No social hierarchy? Tears of joy. As someone who works with elementary schoolers, that's a good one. Nope. Adulthood. I was picked on all through those years of school, kindergarten through college. You couldn't pay me enough to go back to that part of my life. Home wasn't much better. So I'm happy to be out of there too. I feel bad for people that look at school as their best years. Currently in college, and I gotta say this is the best time. I have a job with my own money. I've been able to take interesting classes. I live with my friends in an apartment. And I just came back from spring break. I can black out one evening and go to class the next morning without judgment. 'Member the womb, guys? Good times. The best years are the ones you enjoyed most. Arts, snacks, naps, etc. Great times. Absolutely. Growing older, I've realized the only time people are truly happy is when the innocence of childhood clouds everything. And even then, some have that taken away. Imagine peaking when you're 10. Yeah, like whoever said that high school, middle school, or college are the best years of their life are typically the ones who probably weren't bullied or ostracized or outcast the whole entire time they were there. University college years were probably the worst part of my life, and TBH nobody I know would choose these years as their best. So yeah, this best years or the collage years mentality were always weird to me. This opinion is like the best animals aren't cats or dogs but parrots. You know that it depends on what person experienced, right? I think the best years are when you feel happy. It doesn't matter if you were 8 at the elementary school or 50 at your factory. If you are happy, it's good. I don't know, what are you even thinking? Ignoring important things like that. Who is having their best years in school? There's a whole world out a little. This mentality is just sad. So my best years were when I spent a lot of time getting beat up for being skinny? Great. One time they even broke all my ribs on my right side. Luckily those fools didn't realize I was left-handed. Ah, the good old days. Look at Richie Rich over here. Worrying about money is a big problem for a lot of families. Kids pick up on it sooner than you think. When you are afraid of what your dad's reaction is going to be when he finds out the sole of your shoe has come as some intense pressure for a kid. No fault of your own. That's what $8 shoes do. Look, the real answer here is that it all depends on your situation and what you value. Only someone who wasn't bullied could say this, tears of joy loudly crying. I'm quite enjoying my 40s actually. You had me with your title, then lost me with saying that the second best years are parental years. I have zero interest in being a parent at all, but being able to relive my childhood or at least be able to experience that naive joy I had towards the world again as an adult would be fantastic. Being a stressed out and jaded adult sucks ass. Oh gosh. I was bullied a lot in primary middle school. High school is where I started actually taking up for myself. Got a few felonies for malicious wounding. But I definitely had a way better time in high school. I'd say my best years were me as an infant, slightly smiling face. The best years are those you are living right now. And this apply at every moment. The mistake a lot do is always clinging to a tinted lens nostalgia that makes it seem like before was better because your mind only remember the good of those years. Just enjoy now. Nah, I got bullied the worst in elementary. A lot of kids were nice, but a lot could also be little devils sometimes. If they perceived you as different or as an outsider. But I agree with you when you say that high school, college, and middle school aren't the best times of your life. Being in school in general is far from being the best time of your life. No, kids were mean to me for half of elementary school. Someone grew up in a normal, healthy family and it shows. Not having to worry about grades or money in elementary school. GTFO lol. The best years are subjective. My best years were my 40s. Grandma said her best years were her 70s. Puberty isn't the worst years either, though junior high was an ass. No social hierarchy. I begged not to go to school when I was as young as going to preschool. I remember a girl bullying me for accidentally wearing the same cheetah print tank top as her, and being bullied by my class kids are mean no matter how young. The best years are your whole life if you make them that way. There absolutely is a social hierarchy in elementary school. There is a social hierarchy. I know because I was way down at the bottom. Upvote for unpopular, but also, the second best years are actually your parent years, you know. Nah, college years are the best when you surround yourself with smart, down-to-earth cool college friends, hands down. Found the guy that had a loving family and or easygoing home life. JKIDK, what you were raised like. I would not relive a moment of my pre-18 years. I'm 22 now, and now that I'm out of school, living on my own, and away from the people that neglected and abused me, I feel safe, loved, valued, and more confident. Of course, it's far from perfect, and there are many things that I worry about, but it's just better. For me, personally, my best years were totally middle school. You obviously never got shook when you got a yellow card, or feared for your life when you got a red card. Getting to a black card was almost unreal. Only ever seen it once before because the kid hit a teacher. You always strived for green. Or else. There's no social hierarchy in elementary school? What? For me, everything after 30 were my best years. In control of my own environment. Have come to terms with my upbringing. That's that. The best years are the years ahead.